Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L, now coming in to talk Shokugeki no Soma chapter 291. And if the video sounds weird, my voice sounds weird, apologies. I am not using my usual setup, so I didn't get the settings perfectly down. Different equipment, so it's gonna just be maybe 1-2 more days. Actually, no, it's gonna be like 2 more days, and then everything will be fine. But until then, just want to say very quickly to the longtime followers, I apologize for not having 2 videos. I missed the last 2 chapters. Unfortunately, chapter 289, I did have the video, but it never fully uploaded for some reason. It got caught, and so now it's sitting on the channel, but it was released 2 weeks ago. I'll leave a link to it in the comments or in the description if you want to watch 289's video. It's there somewhere. And for last week's, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Anyway, this week, let's go this week. Okay, cool. 1 minute of information. So, yes, chapter 291, the superhuman abilities arrive. Alright, guys. From what I understand, all of you who are in the comments all seem to be very smart. And okay, I'm not, smart might be too much. I don't want to assume, but you guys are all reasonable. A lot of you can form some pretty good arguments for why things are happening. Like off the top of my head, I'm thinking Invader Rim. I'm thinking Midmat. Like all you guys, heck, Charles Anime World. Whenever he pops in, you guys all have very reasonable arguments for things that are occurring in Soma, right? So I hope that you guys understand my excitement when I see this chapter, because I see what was it, a clown juggling a bunch of steam cookers. I see the lady with Esdeath with the chainsaw, Sarge. I see the guy with the blood, which is honestly, he's probably pretty normal. Like he's not that insane. That was pretty normal. And then there's the girl with the giant arm. Like she totally flexes and then she goes into guillotine. I see all of that, and all I can think is, a man with shock collars is so close, I can taste it. He's almost there. I am so sure there's going to be someone. Like these guys have like dish chainsaw or something, and dish blood and dish guillotine and all that. I see that, and all I can think is there's going to be someone with dish shocking or dish electrocution. Like it's right there. We're there. We're right on the cusp of it. I've been waiting for this. It's just been a joke, but we are so close. Someone's going to come in with shock collars and he's going to be shocking the meat. And it's going to be, frog legs. He'll do it with frog legs because frog legs do weird things with electricity. So that would be hilarious. But, jokes aside, I think we can all see what's happening here in Soma. There is some kind of weird power escalation happening. And it honestly is weird. Like, this is very shonen. Like, the movement that's happening here. You have, like, this in creation of a dark side and a light side, which you guys already know I think is stupid. It's really legals and illegals. That's all it is. There's no light and dark. It's legal and illegal. Let's draw the distinction. But anyway, you have that set up there, and now you have superhuman powers coming into the forefront, or being more exaggerated. And actually, in the case of the Dark Chefs, oh man, I hate calling them Dark Chefs. Anyway, in the case of them, their superhuman abilities, and I'm saying that with quotation marks, are way more aggressive. But it's not as if superhuman abilities didn't already exist in the Shokugeki no Soma manga. Because, like, when you look back at it, honestly, Irina's God Tongue is a superhuman ability. Effectively. Like, compared to average humans, definitely superhuman. Akira's God Knows, effectively, is also probably a superhuman ability. Rio's ability to be a wild, ferocious person and have like a borderline, bipolar disorder. Yeah, that's he's made himself superhuman, right? The Nakiris have the ability to strip people if they taste something that's good. That's a superhuman ability, right? Subaru's ability to stalk people. Let's face it, that's kind of approaching superhuman ability territory. Heck, even Nikumi. Nikumi has sensitive skin so that she can feel the heat coming off of the plates and whatever. That's technically falling under the line of this idea of superhuman abilities. Mind you, they're not as aggressive or as showy as someone with a chainsaw and being able to control the fine movements of it, or some girl with a hat who's able to flex and like gain 3 times the muscle mass. Yeah, they're not that level, but they were always there. So I will I'll accept this. This is still kind of okay within the logic of the Shokugeki no Soma world. It's just that now these things that at one point you could have just called a joke or just an exaggeration or just like something that's realistically possible have now been elevated to just this really flashy level. And it really just reminds me of Hero Academia, because one notion in Hero Academia is only the flashy things matter. Like, Hero Society just wants to see flashy quirks. When someone has a flashy quirk, people say, oh, you could probably be a hero with that flashy quirk because popularity matters. So I see that and I look at this and it's like, I think he has to escalate things to maintain interest. And the escalation is even there with the plot. We have people referring to the food as specialty level. Look, man, when you say something level in a shonen manga, you have crossed into a power hierarchy. Once you start calling things by levels, there is some kind of weird superpower going on in the background. Like in One Piece, you call it like Shishibukai level, which honestly doesn't really work, or like Marine Admiral level, or Pirate King level, things like that, right? You got the idea of the tier that you're existing in. Similarly, in Naruto, you had Kage level and the Sani level. Just a general idea of a power level. Like if someone said, "Oh yeah, that guy's a Kage level," you knew, okay, this person is relatively dangerous. And that's it's kind of happening here. And the reason that's interesting is because you look at that final page and the people who have the spark of superhuman ability are Megumi, Takumi, and Tsukasa. And of those 3, of course, Tsukasa is the one that we can all buy for realties. The other 2, though, are just we're being told that these 2 have the capacity to go to Akira's level, right? I find that ridiculous. I find that such a ridiculous notion. That's not those characters earning that right. That's the author pushing them because those characters are popular. That's what it is. And it's ridiculous. Because we go back and we look at this, and if the criteria for these people is to be skilled at cooking and also having superhuman abilities, and given that the bookmen have the resources to investigate people who don't show up in the books, logically, someone like Akira should have he should have been let through. Someone like Akira should have been let through because that nose rivals, to some degree, Irina's tongue. So, the framework by which this thing is happening is just shitty. I don't think this is redeemable. Like, the management here and the logic behind the management, I know that as fans, we can find the spots to argue for it, but man, you look at some of the people that are there with Soma, and you see like just the level that they're at, and you gotta wonder, like, no, Akira would never be caught looking like the chumps that the other ones are looking like, right? Akira wouldn't look like this guy that just all of a sudden got overwhelmed by Sergeant's cooking. Where's Rindo? Now, mind you, the author might still have a plot twist where the people with superhuman abilities that we've already seen before are already through the gate. But I highly doubt that. Anyway, I got a little bit heated there, but I'm just going to dial back to the original point. The point I wanted to make is that now we're going into specialty level, and that's it's interesting. That's something that Soma struggled with, this idea of creating a specialty. And now if we see Megumi and Takumi rise to specialty level, man, that's just so funny. That'll be really interesting. That will be exceedingly interesting. And it makes sense because the 2 are already second years. They should have risen to that level if Soma was struggling with that problem in first year. So, on that note, I like the notion of those 2 hitting that level. I, however, don't like this notion of them having superhuman abilities just because those 2 haven't shown anything to make them worthy of that. Tsukasa pretty much like disassociates from reality when he's cooking. All right, you can make that into superhuman. It's not even that hard. But Megumi and Takumi, like Takumi's just a boy from Italy who has an inferiority complex with Soma and always gets the butt of the joke, and maybe has learned to be a little bit more of a stalker thanks to Subaru. And then Megumi is just a nice girl who cares about people. What do you want to do with that, man? Is it superhuman to be able to cut a giant monkfish? Maybe. I don't know. Mind you, I am interested that Soma isn't there at the end with those three, but Soma's character, his MO has been established to be it's been established to be hard work. So honestly, Soma doesn't need a superhuman ability. He doesn't. He just needs hard work, and that'll be fine. The superhuman abilities really, the one that gets the biggest advantage that we've seen before the introduction of Noirs was Irina. Irina was the one whose superhuman ability legitimately changes the world, if used in the right way. Like her judgment means a lot to the world. So by the end of this chapter, honestly, man, I don't know anymore. I don't know. All I want to see is a guy with a shock collar. I know it's gonna happen. There's just no way that this author is not going to use electricity somewhere. It's going to happen because electricity is cool and it's flashy. Man, if Asahi ends up being the one with the electricity power, oh my, that will be hilarious. But speaking of the power, one last thing, like I said, the guy that did the blood, I think his name was Claude. I think his name was Claude. I think he's the most reasonable. I think I could legitimately imagine seeing someone extracting blood from a dish and then doing some stuff with it. Like, that's actually not that intense. Bunny Hera, however, is significantly intense. Like, holy man, what is she doing? How does she even do that? Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought down below, man. And girls, in case there's any. Just because it is so fun. It is so interesting. People are saying that Soma's jumping the shark, and it's like, no, not really. I mean, like, they just brought a clown and a bunny girl. The other guy just looks like he's from Bravely Default. But yeah, I'm good. This is cool. Guys, thank you all for watching. Until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.